we're going to be looking at how to compare and order decimals. It is the same steps that you will follow with decimals that you followed with whole numbers, except for now we have to look at the tenths, hundredths, and thousandths place. These are the steps for comparing decimals, just to look at greater than, less than, or equal. So when we compare numbers, we are looking at their greater than, less than, or equal. Our steps that we're going to use for decimals is pretty important that you try to follow these steps because it will ensure your success on doing this task. The first one is step 1. You want to line up your decimal points and compare the digits of the same place value, just like you do in the whole numbers. You have to compare the digits in the same place value, because if you're trying to compare tens to hundreds or tenths to thousandths, you're not doing a true comparison because you're not looking at the same value. Step 2 would be to find the place where the digits are different. And then step 3 will be to actually do the comparing. Okay? So we're going to take some numbers that have decimals in them and do some comparison based on the steps that we just talked about. So let's go. Alright, so I'm going to use a place value chart. Place value charts are pretty helpful on this situation. Now, I looked at some stuff from the Olympics, and I went ahead and found some information on Michael Phelps, very, very famous swimmer, and I looked back at the last 3 Olympics he's been in. In 2004, which some of y'all were really little at that time, he did the 100-meter butterfly in 51.25 seconds. Okay? 4 years later, in 2008, when he went to the Olympics in Beijing, he did the exact same race in 50.58 seconds. So, numbers are pretty close. But when you're talking about races and stuff, the tenths and the hundredths and the thousandths place can make all the difference in the world. Okay? So, just like we did with the regular place value, the whole numbers, let's compare. We lined up our decimals. That was our first thing. We're comparing. They're both the same. That doesn't help. Then we look here, and what do you see? You see that the 1 is greater than the 0. So, 51 and 25 hundredths would be greater than 50 and 58 hundredths. Now, here's the tricky part. In a race, do you want the higher time or the lower time? You want the lower time because that means you're going faster. Okay? So he actually did better in 2008 than he did in 2004. So that could have been more practice and just become a better seasoned. Ordering them. Let's put them in order from least time to greatest time. And remember, in races, the least time would be the winning time, the better times, the ones you could win off of. So same thing, same steps. We're going to line up our decimals, but now we have 3 to line up. So we're going to do 51 and 25 hundredths, 50 and 58 hundredths, 51 and 21 hundredths. So same steps that we just had with the other ones. They all have 5 in the tens place. Here, I start to see a difference. The 0 is smaller than the other 2, so I already know that this one's going to be my smallest. So I'm going to put it first in the list. Okay, now that one's done with, so we don't need it anymore. And we're going to be comparing these two. Well, I notice a 2 and a 2 in the tenths place, so that's not going to help me either. It's not till the very last number that I figure out which one was less than the other one. This one right here is smaller than that, so 51 and 21 hundredths, and that one would come last, 51 and 25 hundredths of a second.